This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth. I'm currently standing out front of the Grand Hotel here in Stockholm, Sweden for the 71st annual Bilderberg conference, where about 125 people or so are meeting in here right now under strict lockdown and strict secrecy to discuss some things that are most certainly going to affect you and me in the very near future. So today I'm going to break down for you some of the more notable names on the official participants list, and we'll also take a look at what's on the agenda for this year. And according to their website, the 71st Bilderberg meeting will take place from June 12th to June 15th, 2025 in Stockholm, Sweden. As ever, a diverse group of political leaders and experts from industry, finance, academia, and the media has been invited. The list of participants is available on bilderbergmeetings.org. So I've taken a good look at this list, and I'm going to break down for you who some of the more influential media leaders are, some of the military men, the leaders of finance and political figures, and of course all of the Canadians who are in attendance as well. So to kick things off, we'll start with the host of this year's meeting, the Swedish billionaire bankster Jacob Wallenberg. He's a man who's known to exercise a great deal of power behind the scenes in Sweden. His family owns around 40% of the stock exchange, and he also owns this hotel where he's hosting the meeting, which is located in what is referred to as the Swedish Center of Financial Power. And this includes the offices of the SEB Group, a bank his family established in 1972, and as I recently reported, his hotel is directly across the street from the Swedish Grand Lodge of Freemasonry. Here's a clip from my coverage of the 2016 meeting in Dresden, Germany, where I secretly recorded Jacob Wallenberg to ask him what goes on at these meetings.
Not very sensational. We discussed the questions that were published in the press release.
Okay.
And it's a sit-down panel debate and Q&A.
Okay.
And then we go through these things. There are no decisions being made, but that's not the purpose. It's an exchange of views.
No decisions being made? I saw a television screen a couple of years ago in Copenhagen and in this meeting room too.
Yeah.
Do people get Skyped in?
No. No. It's just so you see whoever is speaking.
Okay. Oh, I see.
So it's like a normal conference.
So when one person speaks, they get projected on the screen?
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. So, but you understand why people are concerned about the...
No, not at all.
No?
Not at all.
Well, because it's done in secret.
There are thousands of meetings of this nature taking place every day in the world.
Right.
And this is the only one where you guys go.
There are thousands of meetings. True.
With
but
decision makers, politicians, business people, what have you.
I guess it's the lack of transparency that people are concerned about. Did you lose your
group?
You lost your group?
They went this way. They went that way. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you for informing us a little bit more about what's going on here, sir. Next, we'll take a look at some of the notable members of the press who are in attendance. We've got Thomas Friedman. He's the foreign affairs columnist for the New York Times. We've got Anne Applebaum. She's a staff writer for The Atlantic. We've also got John Micklethwait. He's the editor-in-chief for Bloomberg. And also Stefano Feltri, who's just simply listed as a journalist. We've also got Zanny Minton-Bados. She's the editor-in-chief of The Economist, and Matthias Döpfner, chair and CEO of Axel Springer, who's also on the steering committee of the Bilderberg Group, both of which I've questioned about all of this multiple times. Matthias, Mr. Döpfner, how are you, sir? Yeah, I spoke with you in Italy in Turin, sir. You gave me
I remember that.
You do remember. Yeah, you gave me a nice, candid interview.
I told you this is one of the most interesting, inspiring conference that I've ever attended.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your interest.
So you're in favor of the kind of frank discussions under Chatham House rules?
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely think so.
Yeah. What would you say to the people who are concerned about the secrecy?
I think the society needs both transparency about conversations, but it also needs conversations without media. I'm saying that as a media representative. I think it's just normal. I think there's really nothing special about it. There are hundreds of conferences like that. I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I appreciate your interest and I fully understand it. We just wanted to have a walk and talk a little bit. Would
Yeah.
that be okay if
Yeah,
we
fair enough.
come to an end sooner or later.
Sure thing. Next up, we'll take a look at some of the notable military men in attendance, like Christopher Donahue, a United States Army general who has served as the commanding general of the United States Army, Europe and Africa. We've got Nicolas Roche, the Secretariat General for National Defense and Security in France, and Mark Rutte, a Bilderberg regular who is attending this year for the first time as the new Secretary General of NATO, a very high position of power that the Bilderberg Group obviously found him very worthy of. Next up, we've got Satya Nadella. He's the CEO of Microsoft Corporation. We've got Daniel Ek, the CEO of Spotify, and also Eric E. Schmidt, the former CEO of Google and the current executive chair and CEO of Relativity Space, Inc. A man who I've confronted at these conferences a number of times about censorship and the axing of conservative voices online. Mr. Schmidt, there's a lot of big tech people here this year. There were last year as well. And since then, we've seen the removal of a lot of conservative voices online. Is that stemming from discussions at Bilderberg? Mr. Schmidt, our conversation got cut a little short yesterday.
I'm not going to talk to them.
Is there any statement we can get on the silencing of the conservative voices, sir? Seems that it's stemming from Bilderberg. Up next, for some notable names on the list, we've got Albert Bourla, Chair and CEO of Pfizer, Inc. We've got Bort Brent, President of the World Economic Forum. We've also got Demi Haspes, co-founder and CEO of Google DeepMind, a leader in the field of AI, and also Lawrence, aka Larry Summers, who's an American economist who served as the United States Secretary of the Treasury and as the director of the National Economy Council. He currently sits on the board of directors of Artificial General Intelligence at OpenAI. Mr. Summers tends to get very agitated if you dare question him about these secret meetings. Here's one example, a clip from my coverage of the 2017 meeting. Mr. Summers, will we be discussing the economy
I
at
just
the
said no comment.
Why? I've been
No
asking
comment.
people for 11 years, sir, and I always get the same answer, no comment.
Fine. Well, we want to end some of the theories out there. There's a lot of speculation and mystery.
Yeah, people end up speculating because of the no comment comment. And if there was a little more transparency, there might not be all the conspiracy
No
theorists.
comment.
Pro-Trump or anti-Trump?
It's not your first time at Bilderberg, correct?
Can you help us understand why there's such a mystique or mystery or secrecy about it?
No comment.
Or the reason for it?
Sir, it's just obviously when there's financial leaders and heads of media and military men, politicians, prime ministers, presidents, very influential people meeting in secret. It's cause for concern, sir.
I'd appreciate your leaving me alone.
I could get something for you if you need something. You sure? Would you like a water?
Last time Peter Sutherland of Goldman Sachs actually gave us quite the conversation. He spoke with us for about 15 minutes. Oh, well, your silence is kind of louder than a no comment comment. Okay, sir, we'll leave it at that. Next up, we've got Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir Technologies, Inc., and his co-founder and partner in crime, Peter Thiel, president of Thiel Capital, a man who I recently confronted about the Big Brother surveillance control grid that they are setting up, and about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. If you haven't seen that one, guys, I will include a link in the description below. And last but certainly not least, as I said, I would like to take a look at some of the notable Canadians on this list. We've got Murray Auchincloss, the CEO of British Petroleum, and also Francois-Philippe Champagne, the Minister of Finance and Of course, none other than Christia Freeland, the former Deputy Prime Minister and current Minister of Transport and International Trade. The Bilderberg Group seems to be very fond of Canadian finance ministers because Christia Freeland attended while she was the Minister of Finance. Philippe Champagne is attending as the Minister of Finance, and Bill Morneau once attended while he was the Minister of Finance. And check out this clip of when I confronted him also in 2017, and he handled the situation very, very differently than that of Larry Summers. You're Canadian, are you not? I'm a fellow Canadian. Bill? Is your name Bill?
Yes.
Bill Morneau.
Yes.
Good to see you. My name's Dan Dicks from PFT.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's PFT?
It's
Right, I'm these restaurant down, right? Okay. All right.
Appreciate you talking to me because I'm glad to find a friendly Canadian, because I've been asking people about their attendance at Bilderberg and really getting no answers. I'm getting no comments. So I'm just wondering if you're able to give a comment for, the Canadian people who are wondering why a finance minister would be attending this secretive meeting.
What's your name again?
Dan Dicks.
And you're from what organization?
PFT News.
What does PFT stand
It's Press for Truth.
I see. Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Well, I'm getting more of this non-transparency.
We're right here. We're right here. Okay, thank you.
So no comment on it for the Canadian people, sir?
Thank you.
I just wanted to let you know, sir, kind of what I'm hoping for is that we can clear up a bit of the, the conspiracy theories. There's a lot of, people are skeptical about what goes on there, and one simple statement could really clear it up from you, sir. As a fellow Canadian, this is going to be going out
Where are
to
you
the
from?
people. I'm from Vancouver now.
Really?
From Toronto.
Do you live in Vancouver?
I live in Vancouver now. I'm from Toronto.
From Toronto. Where in Toronto?
And are you going to be obviously talking about the economy in there?
Where in
Because
Toronto are you from?
I used to live downtown,
Where?
right beside the Skydome. So
What building are you in? Because I know those buildings.
I lived in the Matrix, believe it or not.
I see.
Funny is that.
When did
as
you
that
move
is.
away?
So you're willing to talk to me, but not about Bilderberg. This is going to be intriguing to the Canadian people. It will go viral, sir. So your chances now to make one statement, one comment. Otherwise, this looks really bad, sir. Okay, secrecy and silence it is. Many people will know you were politely asked and you just refused to answer. You're meeting in a
break off here. Thank you.
Finance Minister Bill Morneau meeting in secret, discussing finances, obviously not willing to divulge anything to a fellow Canadian. The current finance minister, Philippe Francois Champagne, was recently questioned about the Bilderberg Group and his attendance in Parliament, and just listen to his answer to this very important question.
Is the Minister of Finance going to be using taxpayer dollars to travel out of the country this week?
Mr. Speaker, first of all, I'm happy to say hello to my colleague. He was my critic when I was a young man, Mr. Speaker, when I started in this House, and now I see that 10 years after, I still have the pleasure to have to answer his question. He comes from a great region. My dad lives next to his.
Agro West.
Is the Minister of Financing planning on traveling to the Bilderberg meetings this week using taxpayer dollars?
The Honourable Minister.
I'm very proud to answer questions from my colleague. Like I said, he comes from a great region where my family is also, so I've seen him in action, and it's great to see that they can.
For Niagara West.
I just want to ask the Finance Minister why he believes that he should spend time at the Bilderberg meetings rather than actually tabling a budget.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm so glad to see my colleague is actually following, paying so much attention about what I do. I travel to Shawinigan also every weekend, Mr. Speaker, and I would be glad to invite him at home as well, because he seems to be very interested where I'm going.
When politicians just ignore and laugh off these types of very important questions, that should be of grave concern to Canadians. And when it comes to Christia Freeland, I've also documented her attendance a number of times. Here's a short clip of my footage of her from the 2023 meeting in Lisbon, Portugal. Christia! Christia! Miss Freeland! There she goes. Okay, got a quick shot of her. We'll be able to pause the video and zoom in on that. She was quick making her escape, but that most certainly was Christia Freeland. Indeed.
I am joined by
Dan Dicks of Press for Truth. And
Hey.
Dan, you want to chime?
Yeah.
You want to chime in about Freeland?
Yes, indeed, Freeland was here. We ended up catching her at a dinner shindig schmoozing event last night at this huge palace. I'm looking for Freeland. Is that her? Christia in the red dress, maybe? She's kind of behind some people now. Yeah, I think that might be her. Yeah, that's her. That's her, all right. Christia Freeland! Christia, the Canadian people know you're meeting in secret now. Managed to, shout at her a little bit and then got a shot of her exiting out of this car and running, making her getaway into the private VIP area of the airport here. So yes, Deputy Prime Minister of Canada is here, despite it not being on her official itinerary, but we have gotten confirmation. You can see that on my Twitter, Dan Dicks PFT.
And for those in the American audience and elsewhere in the world, what is so significant about Freeland, and maybe what is she up to here at Bilderberg in Lisbon?
Well, Freeland's been around. She becomes minister of this, minister of that. She is on the board of trustees of the World Economic Forum, and back in around 2011, over a decade ago, she wrote a paper called "The Rise of the New Global Elite," and in this paper, she talks about the World Economic Forum and the Bilderberg Group as being the new kind of international circuit for where a young plutocrat can rise up on the international scene. And she calls them, I think the hereditary elite. And she says they're very secretive. And now she is openly a member of this. Maybe not so openly because she's trying to keep it hidden, but she is now a member of the very thing that over a decade ago she was trying to warn people about. So this is like number 2 to Canada, if anybody's not too aware. She's pretty significant. Christia Freeland was once the second in command to the Prime Minister, but it seems she's being demoted to the Minister of Transport and International Trade by none other than Bilderberger Mark Carney, who is now Canada's official Prime Minister. And in case you guys didn't know, at last year's meeting, I correctly predicted that Mark Carney was eyeing the position of Prime Minister and that he would get it if the Bilderberg Group would allow it. In case you didn't know, Mark Carney was the governor of the Bank of Canada from 2008 to 2013, and he was also the governor of the Bank of England from 2013 to 2020. It seems that his next venture in life may be politics, as he seems to be looking for the position of Prime Minister of Canada, if, of course, these guys are going to allow it. So, what topics are going to be on the agenda for this year? Well, ever since I've been covering this for the last 19 years, and ever since trailblazers like Jim Tucker, who came before me, they haven't been publishing the participants list or the minutes of the meetings or the agenda. But after all the exposure they've been getting over the past 2 decades, they now hide in plain sight by launching a website and by publishing the official participants list and agenda. So this agenda has just recently been released, and here's what's on it. Number 1 is the transatlantic relationship, which is the most obvious one because that's pretty much the reason why the group was established in the first place, way back in 1954. We've also got Ukraine, the U.S. economy, Europe, the Middle East, and authoritarian axes, all very broad topics that deal with wars, whether that's in Ukraine or the Middle East or Russia or China or even North Korea, and what will happen as a result to the U.S. economy and Europe. And I'm pretty sure most of you already know that they do have a plan to eventually crash the U.S. dollar and to replace that with a global reserve that would be a CBDC, a central bank digital currency. And they're going to need some sort of major crisis in order to get people to accept such a fate. We've also got defense innovation and resilience, AI, deterrence and national security, proliferation, and geopolitics of energy and critical minerals, which really makes it seem like they're looking for a new normal to arise here as they gain a tighter grip over control and how to use AI to their advantage, and also in achieving proliferation all around. But perhaps the most troubling topic on the agenda is the last one, which simply just says depopulation and migration. The migration issue is currently being used to divide the West, but what do you think they mean in terms of depopulation? Are they suggesting this is something that needs to stop or something that needs to increase? I'm willing to bet that it's the latter. And guess what, guys? There are only two ways to decrease the global population. You can either increase the global death rate or you can decrease the global birth rate. Or, of course, you could do a combination of the two. And we're witnessing that already on both fronts, with the poisoning of our food, the poisoning of our air and of our water, and just the amount of chemicals that we are constantly being bombarded with that are achieving both, increasing the death rate and lowering the birth rate. Now, this participants list and agenda has just been released, but I've been running around trying to document this event and, confronting Bilderberg members. So for the next few hours and couple days, I'm going to digest this information. I'm going to let it soak in. I'm going to do some deep research, but I just wanted to quickly bring this to you so you're aware of what's happening here. So that's all for now, guys. If you do appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, please check that top link in the description below to where you can show me some support. I can certainly use all the help I can get. Plus, tomorrow, June 14th, is shaping up to be quite the day. There are uprisings that are planned to take place all over. Trump is planning a massive military parade. There's a huge Bilderberg protest that's going to be happening right here in Sweden, and all of this just so happens to fall on my birthday. So I honestly wouldn't want to celebrate it any other way than to expose all of this corruption. So if you guys would like to send me a little birthday gift, a great way to do that would be to chip in at the link below or to find me at pressfortruth.ca/donate. So thank you so much to everyone who does contribute in that way. I simply can't continue to do this work without your support. So that's all for today, guys. Please click that thumbs up button, share this video, and stay tuned, guys. We're going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.